Giving back is not just about focusing on people of today, but also looking back and remembering the people who came before today's NBA ball players.
Basketball soul.
Today, we can't even imagine sports without black athletes. Nearly 79% of players who give the NBA its enormous star power are people of color. But in the early days of basketball, the number of black players allowed to compete for national championships was zero.
I find it really hard to believe that the NBA, when it started, was segregated.
African-American ball players growing up think that there was always an opportunity for them in basketball, and that's not true.
See, these young guys think they make $20 million a year because they can play. They were just born at the right time.
Before black people could prove their worth in any arena, including sports, they would have to find each other, and they did it here.
From generations of poets, the first to the last. That's right. Harlem has ensured her future.
To make it, you had to get to Harlem.
Harlem did not have a professional baseball team, did not have a professional football team, but it did have a professional basketball team.
They were like gods. When they come around, everybody wanted to meet the ball players.
If you were on the Renaissance, you were on the 8-1 team.
But no matter how good the Wrens were, they were just a colored team who could never compete for a championship against the best white teams. Out of the blue, an invitation arrived.
American basketball players gather in Chicago to pry the lid off the first World's Championship for professional tossers.
It was the biggest arena the game of basketball had ever seen.
When they came out, it was pandemonium.
You could smell the sweat. You're right on top of the action.
When you play against white ball players, what are they going to do? Play basketball? They want to kill you.
They played very well together.
There's a thing we have with that rhythm.
It was like an orchestration.
The world knew at that moment they were seeing the two best basketball teams in the world.
This history has been written and rewritten by people other than African Americans. I think that you don't get a sense of the glory.
If you could go 30,000 feet up and look at the world as it evolves, that was the beginning of the evolution. They changed the game, they changed how the world saw the game.
All the older guys, we couldn't thank them, enough for what they did.
On the shoulders of giants. Come on, Harlem, son.
I headed across downtown Los Angeles with my wife, Jackie, to a special NBA All-Star Week screening of the movie and to meet the man who made it.
We're joined here with, of course, the great Hall of Famer, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem, you've made it clear that you are more than just a basketball player, more than just a Hall of Famer, really focusing on history.
What my movie is about is the guys who were great before the advent of the NBA. You know, the Harlem Wrens started playing in 1922, and they were exemplary in terms of their excellence in the game and the fact that they were advocates for black advancement. You know, at the time that they started playing, sports was segregated in America, and black Americans could not participate in basketball, baseball, football. We had the Negro Leagues, and people really don't understand what professional basketball was about at that time. So making this movie gave me an opportunity to shine a spotlight on them and the community of Harlem and the things that made it special.
I know you're obviously appreciative of your Hall of Fame career, but where does it rank, though, when it comes to this focus on history for you, trying to let folks know the stories that exist as telling our story versus having someone else tell our story?
Well, until we get it together to tell our own stories, we're going to be misrepresented. So, you know, I'm tired of seeing that. You know, that started with the film Birth of a Nation. You know, how blacks were misrepresented in that. So, you know, we have to get it together to tell our own stories and write and do films and keep the world educated as to what we're really all about.
I follow you on Twitter. Got to ask about your health. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Everything's going good. I'm in remission, and I intend to stay there.
One of the issues, last question, one of the issues we're focusing on this week for my TV One show, athletes doing amazing things off the court, off the field. You have your Skyhook Foundation. Tell our audience what it's about and why is it so important to you?
Well, the Skyhook Foundation was founded so we could encourage young people to deal with their education. It's an advocate. It advocates higher education, and it uses sports as the hook, so to speak, to get to the kids and talk to them about something that they're interested in, and hopefully the next step is for them to start thinking about higher education.
Well, and obviously that's important. Does it burn you when you hear people say, oh, athletes should be doing more? When you see guys who are used to play and playing now, who still do a heck of a whole lot in the community?
Well, yeah, I see that the mayor of Sacramento is a guy named Kevin Johnson, used to play in the NBA. The mayor of Detroit is Dave Bing, used to play in the NBA, a great entrepreneur, was a businessman, owned a steel company. That's the type of thing I like to see, athletes taking part in American life in ways that have nothing to do with their sport.
All right, well, Kareem, thanks for joining us on TV1's Watch and Watch. Thanks a lot and good luck.
My pleasure.
All right.